Jai Gurudev. You know those big questions we all ask ourselves sometimes? Like, who am I, really? Or what is all this? Well, those aren't just late-night thoughts. They're actually the very starting point of a pretty incredible journey inward.
So let's dive right in. Today, we're going to be exploring the spiritual framework laid out in this book, Sadguru by Acharya Vyashananand. Think of it as our guide, a kind of map for understanding creation, our own consciousness, and all the invisible forces that shape our lives.
You know, the book kicks things off with this really powerful idea. It says that while science is amazing at explaining the what of our physical world, spiritualism is what dares to ask about the who and the why behind it all. It's about making that leap from just knowing about things to actually experiencing them.
So here's our game plan for this journey. We'll start with those big questions. Then we'll unpack the book's really cool model for creation. From there, we're going to turn inward and look at our own consciousness and what makes us tick. And finally, we'll get to the ultimate goal of it all.
Every great journey has to begin somewhere, right? And in this philosophy, that first step isn't some grand action. It's the simple but totally profound act of just asking.
And here they are. The book, Sadguru, really puts these two questions at the absolute heart of the human experience. They're like these two powerful engines, pushing us to look beyond the day-to-day and search for a deeper truth about who we are and the reality we're living in. Okay, so to tackle that second question, what is this creation? The book offers this absolutely fascinating framework. And it's so clever because it blends this ancient, timeless wisdom with a really modern, easy-to-remember concept. Let's break it down. So the foundation for everything is this concept of kriyam. It basically just means creation or action. But the key is that it's not a one-time event, like a big bang that happened and was over. No, it's this ongoing, dynamic process. It's the universe constantly unfolding, constantly becoming. But how is that whole process managed? And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how the book uses the acronym GOD to explain this cosmic cycle. So G is for the generator, right? That's the creative force, represented by Brahma. Then you have O for the operator, the one who sustains and maintains all of creation, represented by Vishnu. And finally, D is for the destroyer, which isn't a bad thing. It's the force of change and transformation, represented by Maheshwara, or Shiva. It's this complete, beautiful, cyclical process of everything coming into being, existing, and then transforming into something new. All right, so that's the grand cosmic scale. That's the universe out there. But what about the universe in here? Let's bring the focus from the vastness of outer space right into our own inner world, into our consciousness. The book just asks it straight up. It forces you to stop and think. Are you just your thoughts, your job title, your memories, your body? The text suggests that to even begin to answer that, we first have to understand the different states our consciousness moves through to experience reality. And here's the answer, perfectly laid out. The amazing thing is, we all cycle through these three states every single day without even thinking about it. First, there's Jagrta, which is our normal waking state right now. Then there's Swapna, the dream state where our mind creates whole new worlds. And finally, Sushupti, that state of deep, dreamless sleep, where even the mind just goes quiet. Getting a handle on these states is the first real step to understanding the consciousness that's actually experiencing them.
Now, let's peel back another layer. Let's go even deeper. So within these states of consciousness, what are the underlying energies that influence our thoughts, our feelings, our actions? Well, the book explains this through this amazing concept of the three gunas.
A great way to think about the gunas is like the three primary colors of our consciousness. We all have all three of them inside us. So, you've got sattva, which is that quality of balance, clarity, and harmony. Then there's rajas, which is all about action, energy, and passion. And finally, tamas, which represents inertia, heaviness, and dullness. The book explains that it's the unique mix of these three forces at any given moment that shapes who we are, our personality, our moods, our decisions. And this dance between them doesn't just happen when we're awake. It colors our dreams and even affects how deeply we sleep. So, okay, we have a framework for the entire cosmos, a model for our own consciousness, and we even have an understanding of the fundamental forces playing within us. But here's the crucial point. What do we do with all this information? What's the endgame? This quote right here is the ultimate takeaway. It just nails it. The book really emphasizes that all of these incredible concepts, the GOD principle, the states of consciousness, the gunas,
They're all just the theory. They are the map. But spiritualism isn't about becoming an expert map collector. It's about actually taking the journey. The real goal isn't just to know these truths, but to experience them for yourself directly.
And that right there is the question this whole explainer leaves us with. We've been given a framework, a new way to understand ourselves and our place in the universe. But all that knowledge, it's just the starting line. The real exploration, the real adventure begins when we decide to take that very first step from theory into real, lived experience. Jai Gurudev.